Okay guys, here we go for Friday night 9-ball tournament, and this is a first round match between Larry and Wolfpack, and Larry's player 1 in the HUD up top, and he's getting one game because this is a handicap tournament, remember, and a race to 7, and it's also double elimination, and we'll get Wolfpack at the table. We'll get two good players here, so we should expect a good standard of pool. And Wolf having to kick at the 2. Oh, he's got a combo there. That was a bit of luck. Comes in handy, and he's also got a shot in the 2. And he's having a look to see if the 3 goes past the 4, which it does. It's a wee bit of a squeeze, but it will go in. Well, he's maybe thought better of it and looked at the 9. And he gets the combination in a 9 and goes into a 2 racks to 1 lead. And no joy in the break. He's left Larry an awkward cut in the 1 ball, and the cue ball's going to be running a bit here. He might even collide with the 2. So he's got no guarantee he's going to get on this 2 ball because of the angle. Maybe going to have to play this delicately, but not too delicate. Well, he's got the kiss on the 2, and that's not bad because he can just roll that onto the 3. So the problem ball's going to be the 4. And it's even more of a problem now because he didn't want to knock the 2 balls in there, he wanted to give himself a shot. So he's probably going to look for cover here one way or another. And it needs to travel, it needs to keep going, and he's not got the cover. He's left both the cut on the 4. And Wolf had plenty of inside English on the cue ball there. That killed it off the rail just to hold it, so he had a shot in the 5 into his preferred pocket, and he just needs to draw back a bit, and he's overdone it. He had a bit too much of an angle on that 5, but he overhit it, so now he's going to have to dig out the jump stick. And he's played that well. Just a nice angle in the 7. He's digging down, so he's just drawn off the side rail. Got the cue ball well under control. And this is just simple now. So Larry's still sitting on his 1 rack that he got before the match started. And Wolf's got a 2 rack lead now. And the break, and the wing ball goes in, which I think was the... was it the 2? Looks like it. And the balls are broke nice. The tough ball's this 1 ball. And then just coming back up for the 3. He just needs to watch he doesn't go in off. So a deep draw here to avoid the middle pocket. And that has finished, well, it's finished perfect because you can just roll this straight past the 8. And I would imagine we're looking at a run out here, but I don't foresee any problems. Now he just needs to, either he's got a choice, he can just come off the rail with the angle that he's got and come across the bottom side of the 6, or do what he did there and go back. And that's a perfect angle there, just to roll through. Well, he stunned it and left a higher angle than I would have preferred. So now this means controlling the cue ball with the draw again. And just the 9 ball to tidy up. And now the danger signals should be there for Larry, but there's nothing he can do if Wolf's at the table and breaking and running. And another ball goes in on the break, 1 ball hovering over the middle, cue ball coming down nicely, and immediately the problem ball's the 6, which has tied up the 9. Now somebody of the standard of Wolfpack has to be thinking on how he's going to disturb that 6 and 9. He certainly can roll through here for a little angle in the 3, but he doesn't want to try and break the 6 and 9 off the 3, because then he's just hoping to luck to actually leave him a shot on the 5. But you never know, it might be his only chance. And he's done it, but that's the end result. He's hooked himself. So no prizes for guessing what he's going to do here. Probably dig out the jump stick again. And this time no luck, but I think he's, well, I thought he'd cover. He might still have it. Let's have a wee look. Well, I don't think Larry can see the potting angle of that. If he can, it's very, very tight. Well, maybe he can. Maybe he can see more of that than what we think. It looks as if he might be able to miss the edge of the 6. But can he? He might have to even put a bit of left-hand English on it, which it looks as if he's doing, just to swerve round it a bit and make the angle. That was a good shot. That was a lot better than it looked. And now he's in prime position, because again he's got a nice angle. He could just stun out or draw back, whichever he's more comfortable with. But if he's stunned at 6 there, he would have to hit it a bit hard. And there's always a risk of them rattling the jaws, and he thumped that one in, so he's perfect now in the 7. Got to miss the 9 though. It's going to be difficult to avoid the 9, I think. Well, that's the problem, you see. Really bothered by that 9 ball and what was going to happen to the cue ball, and that's why he's totally messed up the 7. And Wolf trying desperately to get the cue ball back up for the 8 has overcut the 7, and Larry's back at the table, and he really needs to make the most of this one. It's not easy, but he's got to win this rack, I feel, if this match is going to progress any more for him. Again, he's going to have to pull out a good one in the 8 as well. Now, does he just roll the 8 in dead weight and play the long cut down the rail in the 9, or does he manoeuvre it round the angles on the left hand side and come out? Oh, that's perfect. If it avoids the 9, it's perfect. Well, that's worked out okay because he get the double kiss. So the important thing here is not just the fact that Larry's won the rack, it's how well he's going to get on the break here, because he needs to string a couple if he can. Make it more interesting. And oh, 7 ball goes in. Well, I think the best he's going to do here's maybe a billiard onto the 5. He's maybe looking at that. He's possibly looking at cutting the 1 in, but the billiard on the 5 with the cue ball is probably second prize. Let's see what he does. He gets the 1 and he's tucked himself up behind the 9. And I think the only good thing there for Larry is the fact that the 5 ball's still over the pocket, because if Larry misses this 2, which he's very likely to do, that would give Wolf ball in hand and the 2-9 combo would have been certainly on. Well, that's worked out very nicely. He's got lucky, got the nice kiss on the 2 and kissed the 5 ball in. And he's, well, the problem's still the 4, but if he gets out in the middle of the table for this 4, he can make the angle to cut the 4 onto the 9. He doesn't need to try and move it if he just looks at the space that he's got there, because I think there's space to get the cue ball in past the 6. If the cue ball was out like where the 8 ball is at the moment, that'd be enough to just cut that 4 onto the 5. But Larry's got a slight angle here now. Is he going to try and disturb it, or is he going to try and get the cue ball into the middle of the table? Let's see. Well, he's played my initial thought, and that looks perfect. This is going to be a really tough one to miss. Yeah. Well, that changes his fortunes a wee bit. He's now got 3 racks on the board, just the 1 rack behind, and he's still of course got the break. And I think the 1 ball was certainly one of the balls in the middle. Maybe there's only the 1, 2, 3, yep. And again, a nice easy shot in the 2. Drop the cue ball off the end rail and back out for the 3. That would be the simple shot. But he wants to have an angle to get the cue ball up for this 4. And he's just run a wee bit too far there. There's still an angle for him to use inside English and kick off the side rail and force the cue ball up towards us. And that's okay. The 3 rattled a bit in the middle there, but that was certainly playing the English on it that did that. Well, only a careless positional shot here is going to spoil his run in this rack, because there isn't a problem in the table. Now, he's got 2 choices. He can roll through, bring the cue ball up the table so that he's got a cut on this the 7, or just play it from the bottom side like that, and the cue ball is going to come off the side rail and across to the left for the 8. That's the natural angle that the cue ball's going to go, but he's hit it soft enough to keep it the right side of the 8. Again, he has to be careful because this isn't a nice angle. So he has checked the cue ball again. Lots of inside English to force it back towards the rail. And that's a good run out. Under pressure. So now it's all square, 4 racks all. And now we've got a match in our hands. And another ball in the break. And no luck in the one though. 9 balls covered the one. Now, is he going to kick at the one off the side rail? Call a push or just kick it? Well, the push out was called. Wolf's got no shot on the one, of course. 4's blocking the path to the bottom pocket here. But he's got an angle to bring the cue ball up behind the 9 again, if he wants to try that, or he can go just bank it onto the side rail and bring the cue ball up behind the 6 and the 7. Oh, well, that was really close. Now, I don't think Larry's got much of an option other than to try and jump this, and he needs to just catch the edge of the one. He doesn't want to be following through into the pocket, and he's played that well and controlled it well because he's on the 2, but unfortunately he's very adjacent to the middle pocket. The natural shot he'd want to play is to just draw off the side rail, but the jaw's in the way, I think. Let's have a look. Well, he could hit the knuckle, but it's very dangerous. So he's chose to leave the long cut, and this isn't easy. And again, another pressure shot. But he's also got to think about manoeuvring the cue ball. So this cue ball is going to come off the bottom rail, side rail, and across to the right to try and get on this 4. In between the gap between the 9 and the 4. Well, it was a difficult shot to get, and unfortunately he's left a 3 on. And this is the kind of standard these guys will play at. If you miss the ball and the balls are left lying like this, very, very strong odds that he's going to run this rack here, or run the remainder of the balls anyway. Oh, now that's went unfortunately wrong, and that's left probably Larry no option but trying a combo in the 9. So he's got ball in hand. Now let's get ourselves down here and look at the setup. Well, that looks fairly dead. Oh, well, it's dead now. And it's left up to Wolf just to cut this 5 onto the 9. And that could be the turning point in the match. See, that was Larry's chance to get himself into the lead. And well, it was, you know, it wasn't an impossible shot in the 9, but just the pace of it set it onto the jaw. And so the 9 goes in, and Wolf gets himself 1 rack in front again by 5 racks to 4. Oh, and the ball goes in again. And can he see enough of the 1? Yes, he can. Just nothing but the bank on the 2. And of course the cue ball's going to have to avoid traffic if he's going to be ambitious to get the cue ball down for the 3. And ideally he's looking at getting a shot in the 3-9 combo here. So it's either that or safety. So he's gone for the safety, trying to tuck up behind the 4, and that looks pretty good. That is excellent. Well, there's a strong chance this 9 could go in here. I'd be surprised if Wolfpack isn't looking at that, banking that 2 and just trying to stun onto the 9. 9's very adjacent to the pocket, it's off the rail. Well, that didn't work out, but it's worked out from the point of view that he's banked a 2 onto the 8 there. The 8 was over the other pocket, but that's what he tried. I think, to be honest with you, I think he hit it far too hard and far too thick. He needed to be a wee bit thinner to let the cue ball run a bit more. But as it is, he got the bank to work one way or another. It banked onto the 8, and the more important thing is he's still at the table. That's all part of 9 ball. Well, that's all went wrong, because all he's done now is he's got the 9 as a blocker, so he's going to have to cut the 5 into the middle. So this is where control of the cue ball is paramount to get onto that 7. All about controlling the pace. Where's the cue ball going? Well, it's hit the jaw. And again, this is a tough one. And he doesn't want to overhit this, because if he overhits it and just runs onto the bottom rail, he's got no shot in the 9. So probably better if he did overhit it, as a matter of fact. Well, he's played at perfect pace. So Wolfpack goes on to the hill. He now leads by 6 racks to 4. And that missed combo ball in hand on the 9 for Larry's proven to be costly again after him working so hard to get back into the match. But Wolfpack's came up dry in the break. Larry's got a shot in the 1. 2's sitting there for the taking. 3's over the bottom left. 4's out in the middle. 5's down by the 9. 6 is down by the 9. Every ball in the open. So there really isn't an excuse here for Larry. He just simply has to get it. Now what does he do? Does he... Well, it looks as if he's moved the Q-tip, so he's going, kicking off the bottom rail and swinging over to the right hand side and rounding out to get a shot on the 4 into this right hand corner pocket here at the bottom of the screen. And he's played that well. Again, it's all about the angle he's got in the 4, and he's far too straight. He's going to have to manufacture something with the cue ball here, because this is asking a lot to get on this 5. And I think that was about the best he could do. But again, it's another pressure shot, because it's going into a blind pocket. And should be no problem getting on the 6, so as long as he doesn't hook himself behind the 8. And he's fine. He's kissed it enough so he's not hampered by the 8. Well, if it was me, I'd just be rolling through far enough that I've got a nice little angle on that 7. And that just looks a bit straight to me. He's going to have to stun this across for the 8. Needs to be nice and firm. Well, he's got a shot in the 8. It could have been a wee bit more comfortable than this. Cue ball should be coming back across for the 9 unless he just rolls it in dead weight, which he's done more or less, and he's home and dry in this rack, so he's still in the match. Larry pulls it back again to just 1 rack behind, and he's got the break. Oh dear, where's the 1 ball going? Well, that's scuppered Larry in this rack. He's came up dry, left the 9 over the pocket, and where does the 1 ball go? Right in front of the cue ball, set up in a dead set combo in the 9, as long as he avoids hitting the 4. And there it goes. Well, what a way to lose the match. That was really unlucky. And Wolfpack wins the match by 7 racks to 5. So Larry goes to the 1 loss side, so he's still in the tournament.